Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be covering about the GeoWhisper project that we were creating in a weekend. So let's get started. Let me tell you a brief introduction about the project, what it is. So basically, anyone can post anything on a location and anyone can see messages that are in their vicinity. Let me just directly show you. So this is the place where user can share their messages or anything that they want to share. And then this is the place where they can select the radius of the vicinity range, and then they can just click on get nearby access, allow the location access, and then you will see some messages nearby to his location. So this was a brief about the project. So in the previous video, I have talked about the database architecture and how I set up the Supabase and all. If you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend to watch that first and then come back to this video. Okay, so let me do this. Let me give a brief about the database, just the database. So we have a nodes table. In this we have few columns. Then we have a location in which we are using geography data type, which comes from a Postgres extension, that is PostGIS. And then we have turned on the extension in the database section, extensions. We have just turned the extension on, and also we have added it to the API section, like in the export schema, so that we can use it in our REST APIs. And we don't have the auth for now. So in RLS rules, we have insert for everyone and select for everyone. I will be adding them later. But this video is going to be mostly about the code. So how I write the code in SvelteKit and how everything is working with SvelteKit server component and everything. So I thought like we won't be using SSR and all, but we would be using because we don't have any authentication turned on, and we can't just add the we can't just give access to everyone. So we need to do something for that. So in the upcoming videos, I will be adding some rate limiting using Redis and Upstash and Supabase. So let me just show you the folder structure of the SvelteKit project. So like it is, it can be used as SSR and can be used as a CSR. Both we can use. So in this project, I have used both. So let me show you how all this is going on. It is also similar to something like Next.js. Not similar, it is almost same as Next.js, just the ecosystem is different and the libraries are different. So first of all, let me just directly move to the routes. So these are the routes. So if anyone have worked with Next.js or anything similar to that, they might be familiar with layout system and all. So basically we have, let me explain you from the very basics. So we have a layout.js. In this, what we are doing is we are just passing the URL, the current path name of the site where the person is, like the current route that the person is. And also we have injected the Vercel analytics. So this is our layout.svelte file. It is basically a layout file for the complete routes. So in this, what I'm doing is I'm setting up a context that is taking up latitude, longitude, and then few flags. And then we are just taking in the path name from the layout.js that we have passed. So we have returned this, right? So in the Svelte, there is a concept of getting the data like with export lit. So we have just we just need to do this, and we get our data from all the parents.js file that we have. So currently we are in layout.svelte, so we will get data from layout.js, and then we are just destructuring the path name and using it to just re-render if the path name changes. So this is basically just page transition. So this is logic to transition the page. I will create a short over it, how we can create our page transition using SvelteKit. Then there is nothing much to show here. Then if you will see, there are two folders, which is API and app. So let me move to the browser once. So just notice the route of this. So our app is running here, and then if I go there, then our layout and our page.js that is in the root level, this is visible here. All this. Now let's move to the main section of the project where the messages are posted and where the messages are fetched. Before that, let me just show you the page.svelte first, and then this is our main component in which we use to post the messages. So let me move to the component. So in this component, what we are doing is we are just rendering few HTML, and then there is a form to submit, and then on submit we are calling like this is the submit action, and then we are just doing this, and it is let me show you the action. So it is redirecting, like the action is add message on location. So if we go to the our page.server.js, there will be a function name as add message to location. So what it is doing is it is basically taking the Supabase instance and then using this table to insert the data that we got from the page. So this is the format in which we need to post our location that I just show in the database. We have a location column of type geometry. So this is the format, like first longitude, then space, and then latitude, and then the data which we got, we just return the data. The data will be coming in this function, in this callback function, and then on status check we are just showing a toast, and we are updating the form. And if we have an error, I just show an error. Nothing much fancy over it. So let me show you let us move to the server component. So in the server component, we are importing the Supabase from a library file. Let me show you the Supabase client first. So in this, what we are doing is we are creating a Supabase client. Like this is the create client that we have imported from the Supabase JS package, and then we are just creating it. We are taking in the domain from the environment variable, and we are taking the API token from the environment variable, and then we are also passing up a optional parameter to provide the schema to use. So we have a schema named as geo, right? We are not using the public schema, so we need to pass it separately to while creating the Supabase client. So what does create client does is it just create a wrapper over few APIs. So as I showed in my previous video, I was using the REST API. So this is nothing but a SDK function that just creates a wrapper on top of the API, and then we can expose some methods, and then we can use that method to do insert, update, delete, and whatnot, everything we can do. Interact with storage, interact with auth. So there are many different things that we can do. I will explain about all this in the upcoming videos. In the current video, let me just move back a little bit. So this is the logic that we have seen about inserting the data in the database. So let me show you a quick demo of it. Let's move to the browser window. Let's go to the post message. This is the post message component. In this, I will I will first show you the table editor. In the table editor, if we go to the geo, and then if you go to the nodes, if you will see, like there are this is the latest ID that I have, 71, and if I post it here, this is testing for my new YouTube video, and let us add some emoji. So I'm using emoji package installed. So and then on send message, we show a pop-up like the permission are required. So it won't be showing again and again because I'm localhost and I'm on HTTP. It is asking me again and again. So on allowing it, I'm showing a toast, posting message, and then I show a confirmation toast, message posted on the location. And then if we go to the database, if we just wait for a second, we saw activity over here. So this is the message that we posted, and it is in our database. Let us move to the code now. So this is all about adding message on a location, and we have one more functionality of fetching the messages. For that, I have created an API route. So what does this route is doing is it is just taking in few parameters from the URL, like radius, latitude, and longitude from the URL, and then it is getting the bounding box. Like in my previous video, I have explained how we are going to get the nearby messages and all, how we are going to create a rectangle around a point, like a point is latitude and longitude, and then we are going to create a box around it, and we are going to find all the points that lie within that box. So this is the function that is giving me the maximum latitude and minimum latitude, maximum longitude, and minimum longitude to get the box. So in this, there are some mathematical calculations. These are all available on public domain. At the gist of this function, I will add the gist of this function in the video description. So let's move back, and let's suppose we get all this data back. Now we need to call the Supabase RPC function. Let me show you which function I'm talking about. So if I go to the database, then go to the functions, then if I just change the okay, no need to change the schema also. No need to change the schema. We have that in our public schema itself. And this is the function that we would be calling nodes in bounding rect. So this is a Supabase, like this is a database function that we pass in few parameters and give us the nodes that are like the messages that are lying within that box. All this I have explained in my previous video. Do check it out. So now let's move back to the code. So we got the point. We call the RPC function. We pass in all the parameters, and this is a constant variable. It is better to keep everything in a constant variable so that we can just change here if we have to change anything. And then this is the context. About SvelteKit, I will be explaining in my next video, particularly about SvelteKit, how I have used all the components and everything, how I have structured the components, how I am setting the context, and how I am getting the context everywhere. So all this, like I have used stores inside context. So all these are some few nitty-gritty that I will be explaining in my next upcoming video. So in this, I'm just then console logging the error if we have any error. If we have any error, I'm just failing the API, and if we don't have any error, I'm just sending in the data that I got in the response from the RPC function. So let me show you one more thing where I'm calling this function. So we have a message component, right, in which we can get all the messages. So if you go to the page.salt of app, we have this radius scroller component. On get messages, it is calling this function. Let me go to the radius scroller component. It is doing nothing but just dispatching the event that when user scroll and set something, we are dispatching the event and the radius with it. So here is nothing fancy. Let's move to the fetch messages function. In this function, we are basically setting a few flags to show the loader and if we have the latitude and longitude from the context or not. All this I will be explaining in my next video, but for now, let's focus on fetch message from the API function. This is the function where we are using the fetch request, and then we are calling the API. This is the route. In the API, we have this folder. So this is the route. We have a get request, and in the get request, we are sending few search parameters, which is radius, latitude, and longitude. On the basis of this, the server is calling up the Supabase RPC function and then giving us the data back. So the data is being coming out here. Let me show you one thing. Let me console log the data. Console log the data that I am getting. Let me move to the browser really quick. And in the browser, if we just I just open up the console, we have few errors. Ignore these errors. Then if you just click on this, our API gets called and we get data. This is nothing but the array of the nodes that lie in the region, like that lies in the vicinity of this. So just see if I reduce this and if I hit a API yet again, so you will see like it is the same result because I am currently posting on the same vicinity range, like I'm on the same location and I'm posting. So you can see you can also see the distance of the messages from my current location. These are 1 meter, 3 meters, so it's approximately on my current location only, so you won't see any difference. But okay, for the sake of the video, to show you like it's working or not, I will just go in the database, go to the table editor, select the geoschema, go to the nodes table, and if I can just update this somehow, but I'm not sure how can I, but let me just try something. So I have changed encoding in it. I will just edit this if I can. Why is everything selected? I just select this row, and how can I edit? I can edit it like this, edit the row. If I go here and just paste, I have just changed one character from it. If I just save, let me see what it gives me. Let's the dog out was the message. Let's hope our vicinity have changed. So if I just show you, okay, so it have been changed. I don't know how much meter it have been set because it was in encoding format. So you can see like this is working fine. If let me test if I can just update this and get the message. Yeah, I got the message. Show you one thing. If I just edit this with the message with the location encoding that is currently nearby my vicinity and just refresh, I should be having 14. Okay, I'm having 14 and I've got this message. So that means our function is working fine. So I have explained till here. Then we are just preparing the message and then initializing the local variable that we have to show the messages. Then we have this loop to show the messages and all this I will explain in my circuit video, so stay tuned for it. So I guess that's it for the video. This I have explained about the Supabase client. Then these are few utils function. Okay, so one more thing, like we have to calculate distance between two locations. So I have also explained this in my previous video. I have also linked that to the so we have a Haber sign formula to do that, which is this formula. So we can just use this formula to get the distance between 2 points, that is latitude and longitude. So I'm doing all this and I'm getting everything back, and then I'm just okay, let me show you the preparing of the messages also, so that you would have some idea. Like this is the way in which I'm calling the function, passing the current latitude longitude and then passing the messages latitude and longitude, and then just formatting some timestamp and all. So I guess I have covered most part of the video. These are some tags that I've added. So I guess that's it for the video. If you like the video, to hit the like button, and for more such content, to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I release a new video.